You have been working so hard. We have been customizing our QuickBooks. We have been recording entries, reconciling bank accounts. It has been a lot of work. Now, in the reporting section, that's where all of our hard work pays off. Imagine, come tax time, you've been keeping up with your monthly bookkeeping. You simply run a report, and all the information you need to file your Schedule C is right there. It'll take you a few minutes to enter the information in on your Schedule C. And that is a very important part of bookkeeping. But the other very important part of bookkeeping is being able to see your financial data as you go along so that you can make adjustments, make changes, and make your business more profitable. So I'm going to show you right now how to pull up reports. And then I'm also I kind of set up some scenarios where we could talk through different information you can glean from your reports. Okay, and like I said, I did set up some fictional scenarios so that I could demonstrate everything I wanted to. So to get to the reports, we're going to go to Reports. And this particular screen, I have noticed, usually looks different on newer online QuickBooks. I think maybe because I'm using a slightly different program for this particular example. But the reports that you're going to look at are going to be exactly the same. And on the newer way, they're right at the very top under Favorites. The first report we're going to look at is the balance sheet. So we're going to click Run. Okay, we can change the dates here for our balance sheet. I'm actually going to keep my dates for the balance sheet the same. It's as of 4/30 of 2018, but you can change your dates here or you can adjust your dates here. Most people are on the cash basis of accounting when you file your Schedule C, so I'm going to actually switch that to cash, although it's really not going to change anything in our case. It's just something I kind of get in the habit of doing. And then I'm going to hit Run Report. So here is our fictional balance sheet that we have here. At the top, you'll see your assets. And there's only one account linked in this sample company, and it's a PayPal account. So that is the balance in the PayPal account as of April 30th, 2018. Chances are you also have a regular bank account that would appear here as well. Scrolling down, we have our liabilities. Here is our credit card, so that is the balance that we owe as of this date. And if you watched the other video about transactions that occurred in personal before you set up your separate business financial accounts, that's what this is right here. So we're going to pay ourselves back for that amount. I did want to mention that any balances you see here, you have to have gone through the process of categorizing your information in QuickBooks first. These reports are not going to pull up any information that is still left in your bank feed and has yet to be categorized. So keep that in mind. The other thing we have here is our sales tax payable amount. So if you do have to pay sales tax for products that you sell, and let's say that I'm going to change my dates here to show you this. Chances are you have to pay sales tax maybe on a quarterly basis. So what you would do is change your dates to the first quarter of the year, run report. In our case, that number did not change. So if I was remitting sales tax for the first quarter, I would remit this amount. And in the sales tax video, I show you how to record that payment within QuickBooks. So this is your balance sheet. It's your assets plus liabilities. It also does show your owner's equity. So if you've been taking owner's draw or you've made owner's investments, those items will appear here as well. Let's move on to the profit and loss statement. We're going to go back to the report list. we're going to run our profit and loss. This is the report you will probably use most often. Right now it's just showing the month of April, and my sample stuff I put in as a different date. So I'm going to change the date up here. I'm going to say this year to date. I'm going to switch it to cash because this sample is on the cash basis of accounting, and I'm going to run the report. Okay, so let's look at our examples here. I set it up for a typical kind of new blogger, kind of added some data that you might see. So at the beginning, now you can see the benefits of our specialized accounts that we created and how I did the main account and the sub accounts, because then you get this nice subtotal. So our total blog income was $2,231. That's pretty awesome. Then we also sold a product on our website. Maybe we sold an ebook or some printables or something of that nature. So our total income from our blog was $3,800. That's pretty awesome. And you can see this split out between ad revenue, affiliate income, sponsored posts, and then the products. So this could help you make decisions like, wow, that affiliate income is pretty strong, and I like doing that sort of marketing and blog posts around that, so I'm going to keep that up. And maybe you decide, oh, wow, that's a lot of sales of products. I'm going to keep working on that too. And oh, sponsored posts, that's doing pretty good, but that's a lot of work, so maybe I'll put my energy somewhere else. Maybe those aren't the conclusions you'll come to, but that's just an example. So then we go down to our expenses section. And I wanted to show you here, after we'll talk about our expenses, but at the very bottom, you'll see we have a net income of $64. And so for this time period, January through May 10th. I think what people often are most surprised about once they finally get a handle on their bookkeeping is the fact that, yes, your revenue is strong. Like, that's great. If you're a brand new blogger and in the first few months of blogging, you're making that much money, or even by the following year, your second year of blogging, that's pretty good. But look how quickly those expenses can add up. And before you know it, your net income is not as strong as you were hoping. So by looking at your profit and loss, you can hopefully change your tactics a little bit to increase that net income number, because that's really what matters. So when I look here, I see, okay, we've got some regular advertising, and then we put some under blog advertising. So blog advertising might be boosting Facebook posts, doing Pinterest promoted pins, and maybe this regular advertising and marketing we separated because it was advertising our product. So this amount of advertising for our product, that's not too bad, especially since we don't really have other product costs. But man, maybe we went a little bit overkill on the other blog advertising, and we might want to tone that back a bit. We've got a little bit of bank fees, not too bad. You might have interest expense for your credit card if you're not paying that off every month. So other noticeable things are, that's a lot of money on monthly tools. I find that it's very easy to sign up for a monthly subscription. And whether you use it or not, you end up paying month after month. And maybe $20 a month isn't too bad. But if you have 5 subscriptions that cost you $20 a month, that can add up quickly. Website expenses, I mean, email list and your domain and your hosting, that's going to cost some money. So you might be able to shop around a little to reduce that. Not sure. We kind of have a lot in office supplies. Oh, this is a random online tools. Little bit here. And oh my goodness, training and education. I guess we went a little hog wild on our course purchases. If we would just tone that down a little bit, we could really bump up our net income. I wanted to show you a really nice thing about the QuickBooks reports. You'll notice that when I highlight a number, it looks like a link. So if I go in here you can click on it and you can see everything, the transaction report that makes up that number that you saw on the profit and loss statement. This is the same in the balance sheet as well. So on here, let's see, I'm scrolling through. What did I subscribe to? What's making that number go up? And you know what I'm seeing? Adobe. I really want to make that go to graphic design. I should have had that as a separate thing. So see how all of this is highlighting? I want to make a change. So that I can pull that right up off of this screen. I can change it to blog graphic design, and I can save and close that. And I could go down the line. And down here, we paid somebody for graphic design. Let's pull that one up. Change that to graphic design. And there we go. We've corrected that account. So this is a great way to see, okay, what exactly did I spend my money on to make up that really big number? Is this all good? Is this all worthwhile? Are there some of these services that I need to change or cancel or move to the free version? So that can be very helpful. And I love how I can just make a change right from the report. So we can go back to the report summary. Here's another one I'm going to make a change. This online tools and subscriptions. Everything I do is really related to the blog. So I really want to stick this in the blog online tools and subscriptions. I'm going to hit save and close. So if you find an error, it's super easy to fix. Or if you just need to drill down and understand a number in a little bit more detail, you can. Now, because I made up a lot of these numbers, like in a real life scenario, this is probably made up of 1, 2, or 3 little courses. But mine, I just did a journal entry so that I could have some data to work with and show you. But I could pull up this journal entry just by clicking on it. And that's what I did there to make that adjustment, and just close out. So the report feature in QuickBooks I find is very helpful. At the end of the year, simply run this report for the full year, and then you'll have your revenues and your expenses that you'll need to file your taxes. If I'm trying to think of other scenarios, but just running your profit and loss monthly can be extremely helpful in making solid business decisions. I mean, every major company that's making a lot of money, they pay a lot of attention to their financial reports. And a lot of times when we're just starting out, we're not paying attention to our finances. But if you are really serious about making your blog successful, then looking at your finances, seeing how you're spending your money, learning where your revenue is really coming from, that is really key. And that's why I encourage you to create your own custom chart of accounts at the beginning. We've got our blog expenses in categories that make sense to us. And we can see our full blog expenses here, total blog income here, and that's really helpful to see that broken out. So if you need to create additional expense accounts or revenue accounts so that you can have more financial information for making decisions in your business, then by all means do that. So that's all there is to the reports, but they are extremely valuable, and it is extremely helpful to run them and take a look at them and just think through them. And then if you need to drill down and see what comprises a number, you just simply click on it, and then you can click on any one of these to make a change. And I just love that. Don't forget to set your dates right. If I would have set this date as of like February, but I thought, it was for the full year, I'd be surprised at maybe lower numbers or something like that. So make sure you set your dates right, and make sure you've already categorized your transactions, because if it's not categorized, it's not going to show up here. Once again, we got to this area by going to the Reports tab over here. The balance sheet shows you your cash and your liabilities as of a certain date and time. And then your profit and loss is your revenues and your expenses. One more thing too on the dashboard. This little quick profit and loss here, you can change the date as well, and this can be helpful. You can change it to whatever you need. But also keep in mind that if you have not finished categorizing transactions, those transactions that haven't been categorized will not be reflected here either. So since I just created sample stuff, it hasn't finished being reviewed, because this is a nonsense company with it's not real. It's not a full business data picture at all. So all right, well, I hope you enjoy the reports section of QuickBooks as much as I do. Oh, and I just thought of one last thing I should tell you. Let's run our profit and loss again. And I wanted to show you that you could print it or export it. You can export to Excel or to PDF, and I do that fairly often as well. Okay, well, I hope you really dive in and take a look at those reports, and I hope that those reports help you to make better financial decisions for your business.